Okay, so the first thing that I was altering was this dress, which is fine. I like the colours on it. It's a bit boxy though, and my mum said it made me look like one of the members of Abnegation, but it has pockets, so I thought it was worth saving.
Bless you!
I started off by chopping off the bottom of the hem, sewing it into a tube, and then flipping it inside out. I then re-hemmed the dress from where I chopped it apart earlier. I put the dress on and then pinched it at the waist as to roughly where my waist is and safety pinned that in place. And then on my sewing machine I did just a little stitch, like a centimetre long of stitches as to where that safety pin was. I actually don't know what I'm doing in this clip. I'm making a hole. I'm making a hole on the seam, and then the tube that I made earlier, I chopped that in two and I put one end of the tube into that hole and then sewed it shut. I want the dress to have a different neckline. So I traced where I wanted it, chopped it out, and then where it's a curved hem, I chopped little centimetre notches along the line. That way when I pinned it all down, it lay flat. I sewed it in place and it was done. The next thing was this blouse, and it's just not really my style, and it has a pussy ew. Yeah, it has a pussy bow on it, which I don't like, and it kind of ages me a lot. So I started off by taking off the aforementioned bow, and then once that was separated, I put the shirt onto my dress form and kind of slouched it back a little bit. I wanted it to look like a wrap top. Do you see that? That's kind of cool. I hemmed the neckline and then reattached the bow on the front as ties. The shirt didn't need the buttons anymore, so I took them off, and because they were quite pretty, I sewed them onto a little necklace. Next to the table was another blouse. It's fine. I mean, it's definitely clothing, but I didn't like it that much. I like the detail at the bottom, but I didn't like the liner came down below it. So the first thing I did was fold it up, sew that in place so it was all even. Then I post rib it for some reason, and then I put the shirt on inside out, and on the lining fabric I took it in on the sides to make it a bit more fitted. And then I did the same as I did to the dress just before, where I pinched where my waist was and sewed two little lines. See earlier shitty animation. For the ties, I had this twine that matched kind of perfectly, so I plaited that into two pieces. Like a little tightrope. I once again made a little hole in the seams, put the ties in, sewed it shut, and that was it. It was done. Next, I have this skirt, which is fine, it's really cute, and I more just embellished it. I wanted it to have more silver on it to match the, what do you call them? The silver eyelets on the bottom. So I got this thread, which is silver and sparkly, and I cross-stitched all along the seams of the skirt, just to give it a bit more twinkle. And that was all I did for this one. I say that was all I did, it took absolutely hours, but hey-ho, it looks really cute now. I also think it looks really cool with this belt that I've got, which is made out of ring tabs of soda cans. I didn't make that though, I bought that. Next was this top, which I really like the fabric of. It's very shiny and makes me feel like E3PO. However, I didn't really like the shape very much, and for some reason it has shoulder pads. So the first thing I did was get rid of those, debated making a little bra, and then I put the shirt on inside out. I wanted the sides of it to be ruched. I can't roll my R's. I'll get my mum to do that when she gets home. Ruched. So what I did was I measured the length of how high up I wanted the ruche to go, and that was 22 centimetres. So then I stretched out a piece of elastic until it was 22 centimetres, and then once it snapped back to the original length of 10 centimetres, that was what I cut out. I stretched out the elastic, sewed it into the seams, tried it on. I hate it, it's dumb. Yeah, it just looked kind of saggy, so instead I took the shirt in at the sides, I chopped the bottom of it off, and with half of that fabric I made two oblongs that I sewed into either side of the shirt with 3 rows of stitches. The first was down the centre and along the hem of the shirt. The second and third were either side of that first row of stitches, a centimetre out from it. This should make 2 channels on either side of the top that you can thread some some twine through. And then when you pull that twine, you can tie it off and then it makes it look ruche, but not saggy like it did with the elastic. I wanted it to be a v-neck, so I traced it out, chopped it up, sewed it in place, and it's a bit wonky, but it's fine. We're not on the Great British Sewing Bee, it doesn't matter. I also wanted that ruche to cover up the wonk, so I hand sewed it in place first and then ran it through the machine. The last thing was this jumpsuit. It was nice, it's cute, but it's too small on the torso and kind of splits me in two lengthways. So I have a trick for fixing that. What you do is you unpick the torso from the legs and you unpick along the belt so it's just a flat bit of fabric. Then you put the belt in between those two bits so it acts kind of like a bridge. Or you could just leave it as a two-piece, to be honest. It was kind of cute. Pin the belt in place, sew it down. My jumpsuit had a zipper, so I had to sew that back in. What am I watching on the laptop? Who is that? Oh, I think it's Dragon's Den, okay. And the packet on the bed isn't anything nefarious, it's Tom Yum seasoning from ramen. And then the straps didn't fit, so I had to readjust them. But then it was done.